I'm sorry, I think we face some troubles here, but just wait for a minute. The IT team will be right back at you. I think while we are waiting for the IT team to fix our problems, can I see everyone? And I would like to know, where are you guys coming from? Could you please type on the chat box below? Where are you guys coming from? Because I'm really excited to see about also your excitement, so we can have further communications after this. Wow. Someone's coming from Bali. Someone's coming from Malang, Jakarta. Wow. Hi, Muhammad Ali from Pakistan. Hi, Shinas from India. I'm sorry, I think we face some troubles here, but just wait for a minute. The IT team will be right back at you. All right. Oh, sorry. Sorry for the inconvenience. I also hear someone is coming from Philippines. Hi, Philippines. And also Semarang, Nomad in Bali, Banyuwangi here, Tangerang, Yogyakarta, Indonesia, but residing in the UK. Wow, my God. Could you please give a very hard applause for everyone here? I always love to see your excitement. Someone is also coming from India and Taiwan, from Medan, from Sudan. Hello from Semarang. Hello everyone. I'm here from Jakarta. Hope we can continue this collaboration into a great communication in the future. Can we play the video right now?
My name is Emily. I'm just an ordinary person, doing ordinary things.
My name is Michael, and I love feeling lost.
Flying high above the clouds.
Listening to the sound of nature in deep forests. Hi Walter, how's it going? Good. Okay, I'm ready.
But you've probably guessed by now, I'm a traveler.
But I'm also a storyteller.
This is my story about wonderful Indonesia.
Hey!
How are you?
Good!
Good to see you
Good
again.
to see you, yeah.
Yeah.
Just can't believe we're here in Lombok. It's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, finally. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, we just gotta find Walter. Where he's at. Hey!
Here we are.
Are you ready? Let's go to Rinjani. Beautiful. This is ridiculously heavy.
How many kg?
Oh, that's gotta be.
Oh, impressive. The views were stunning. The legs were not cramping, thankfully. At some points I was wondering, what am I actually doing here? But it's very rewarding, very rewarding.
So I'm coming down from the summit. I was just up there, made it just in time for sunrise, and it was incredible. Just watching the sun come up right over there, all these clouds you see, and then of course the beautiful crater right there, and you can even see Bali in the background, the Gili Islands. I mean, from 4,000 meters up, you can see a lot. It was worth it. It was a struggle on this rocky terrain getting up, but we did it and it was worth it. I'm gonna go explore the lake down there.
It was an absolute pleasure. So see you soon.
Yeah, see you tomorrow. Oh wow, that looks so good. One of my favorite things about Ranjani is coming down here to Lake Sigaranak and shooting the Milky Way. It is so clear here. There's no city lights around, and you get like the lake and the mountains, and then obviously the Milky Way up above, and it is beautiful. We're starting our descent down to the town of Torian. It's gonna be a long walk today, but luckily it's all downhill. Down that beautiful valley behind me. It's gonna be a fun day. To Torian, you come across this nice little hot spring. It's a great place to stop, soak your feet, have a little break. Everyone's kind of just hanging out here before we continue the hike down to Torian. After that relaxing stop, we're gonna continue on the trek. Next up is a couple waterfalls. We're gonna have lunch at the first one, and then the second one is gonna be something truly special.
After several hours of hiking down from our camp at the lake, we made it to this beautiful waterfall. I've been looking forward to seeing this all day, hiking down through the lush rainforest, very different from the other side of Rinjani, where we came up, more rocky. But this hike, it was just so green with these massive mountains and the fog, just simply beautiful. And this waterfall at the end is a grand finale and such a good way to end my trip to wonderful Indonesia.
Hi guys, exciting news. We're still here in Lombok. We just managed to climb Rinjani mountain and we got some exciting news. We just heard today we got here in time. We're in the right season to see Pulau Pasir.
Apparently you can only see it at specific times, and we are here at the right time, so this is exciting. It's going to be a fun day of snorkeling and seeing this beautiful island region.
Amazing, amazing. I have super high expectations. Let's do it.
Just one word that could describe the whole video. Magnificent. Everyone here, I'm in awe of this breathtaking beauty and the cultural richness that Indonesia has to offer. It is truly inspiring to witness the wonders of this nation, and not to mention the role of Indonesia Youth Foundation plays in empowering the youth to embrace and preserve this heritage. But before we officially begin for today's event, we would like to say thank you to our sponsors, Asian Youth Organization, United Nations Association Indonesia, Youth Catalyst Foundation, Indonesia Youth Diplomacy, ISEC Indonesia, and OIC Youth Indonesia. Without their generous support, this event would not have been possible. So we are truly honored to have them as our partners in making this event happen. And now let's move forward for the most awaited session. That is going to be the grand webinar featuring our expert speakers. And this session will be moderated by Miss Effie Erika. So for Miss Effie Erika, the place and time is yours.
All right, thank you very much, Miss Davina, for the words. Okay, for everyone, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the grand webinar of Bali International Student Festival 2024. I'm Effie Erika Puspitasari, and I'm excited to be your moderator for today's session. We are very thrilled to kick off this 4-day event that brings us together students and youth leaders from around the world. Today, on day one of BISF 2024, we have two incredible sessions focusing on the power of youth-driven change. The first one is we'll dive into the first session with enhancing youth open-minded solution for the world problems, followed by the second session on youth participation in a better world through partnership for success. All right, without any further ado, let's get started with our first speaker. Our first speaker today is Ms. Faisa Sabila, the Human Capital Vice Director at Student Catalyst, Youth Catalyst Foundation. Ms. Faisa has dedicated her work to empowering young leaders and creating youth-driven solutions for global challenges. Ms. Faisa brings a wealth of experience in human capital development, and today she'll be speaking on enhancing youth open-minded solution for the world problems. Her insight will help us to understand young people can use their creativity and open-mindedness to address some of the world's toughest challenges. All right, without any further ado, please join me in welcoming our special today, Ms. Faisa. The floor is yours.
Hi, am I audible everyone? Aman nggak? Kedengeran nggak? Can you hear me? Maybe the moderator can confirm if you can hear me.
Yeah, Ms. Faisa, we can clearly hear you.
Okay, thank you so much, first of all. Thank you for the opportunity for inviting me along with the partnership with Youth Catalyst Foundation. It's always great to see young people collaborating for a good cause. Maybe I'll start by sharing my screen, if that's okay with everyone. Okay, there you go. Okay, I think you can see my video now. It was also great to see everyone's amazing enthusiasm, everyone coming from different parts of Indonesia, different parts of the world as well. And there are people like me who are maybe was born and raised in Indonesia, but is currently residing somewhere else. I'm currently residing in the UK, hence the natural lighting, because it's still midday here, it's 1 p.m. It's funny to see the time difference, but despite it all, we have all like come together here in this very amazing event and initiative to find out more about what we can do, about what we can take our community into greater heights. So my title of the session will be Redefining Change. And there are 3 parts in action: youth, innovation, and inclusivity. But before we start into the serious talk, I would like to play a little game. Maybe everyone can play along with me. This game used to be a trend on TikTok. It's called Put Your Finger Down. So what you do is you put all 10 of your fingers up, and then we play a little game. And I will say you a fact or a statement. And if you agree with that fact or statement, you will fold one of your fingers like this. And by the end, I just want to see how many fingers you've got left. This is not like a competition where there are winners and losers. I just want to know you guys a bit better. So it would be great if everyone can participate along with me and show me along your fingers throughout the process. Okay, I'll play along with everyone. Remember, if you resonate with my fact or my statement, just hold one of your fingers down and hold the other remaining fingers until the next statements. And I will have about 10 to 12 statements. And again, I just want to see how many fingers we've got left at the end. Okay. Put your finger down if you have used a ride-sharing service such as Grab, Gojek, or Uber. Everyone has, I'm sure. If you haven't, and if it's not on your area, those services that I just mentioned, they are ride-sharing services. Essentially, they're online transportation where you can order transportation from your phone, and they will come pick you up right in your pickup point. Okay, number 2, put your finger down if you have joined a student organization in your high school or in your university. Okay, I always love seeing like people being passionate, doing all the things that they like, especially when it's empowering other people as well. Okay, number 3, oddly specific, put a finger down if you have planted a mangrove throughout your life. Actually have. I went volunteering with my university once. It was fun. We got to go to the beach and enjoy the waves, but still knowing that we did a good cause. Okay. Put your finger down if you have tried to learn something new from TikTok. I have, maybe, if the doggone coffee counts. Okay. Put your finger down if you have mentored or helped another person on their project on their homeworks or in their respective field of work or study. Okay. A lot of people still have six fingers up. I think it's because of the mangroves. Okay. Next question. Put your finger down if you have been in contact in the world of education and teaching, especially for kids younger than 10 years old. Have I? Maybe not. I'll keep that one up. Put your finger down if you have curated content online in terms of video, for example, in TikTok or on Instagram Reels about your hobby. Oh, okay. Content creators here. I'll stalk every one of you guys one by one. I see some people have up their fingers down. Okay, put your finger down if you like doing arts and crafts. I do. I love arts and crafts. Okay, put your finger down if you have put your finger down if you are able to speak another language other than your mother language and English. Okay, not me though. So good for you guys. Last question. Put your finger down if you have joined and moved yourself to register to attend a global event to expand your network or knowledge. I'm sure everyone here has dropped that one finger down because we are now in this event together, wanting to collaborate together for a better change. Okay, big applause to everyone here. Thank you so much for participating. Yeah, I see some of you guys have 3 fingers up still, maybe 1, maybe 4. But it's always great. The things that I mentioned, they're all very positive things. And it's a good reminder that being positive, being active in youth empowerment does not have to be defined in a singular line. Oh, working or being in youth empowerment has to be in education. Not quite. Or if you want to make a movement, it has to be something related to the environment. Not really. The thing about youth empowerment is that you can do it just from where you are right now, with your own interests, with what you can do and all of your capabilities. Okay, more on that later. But in Indonesia, we have a saying that says "tak kenal maka tak taaruf." I like that better. Which means if we don't know each other, then we can't love each other. So I will start by an introduction about myself. And now that I know some things about you, I know that couple of you has planted mangroves, or a couple of you speak another language other than your mother language and English. But this is an opportunity for me to introduce myself. My name is Faisa Shahla Sabila. I go by Shahla most of the time. I am the Human Capital Vice Director at Students Catalyst. More on Students Catalyst in a bit. But I have a great passion for all things human capital and education. It mesmerizes me just how many people there are in the world. Very lucky that I come from Indonesia, a very diverse and rich country. But then I moved here to the UK to pursue higher studies, and that window has just been open a lot more. Now I meet people from different continents, people from different parts of the world, people who have different ethnicities, people who have different dialects, people who have different beliefs than me. And just dealing with people, talking to people, working for and with people, working around people has been my interest since forever, for as long as I can remember, for the last 5 years. And that is proven by my commitment. I'm taking HR related classes, currently studying in Universitas Indonesia, but I'm doing a double degree with University of Birmingham, and that's why I'm in the UK right now. But also it is reflected in my professional experiences. I was a human resource information system intern at LPS, Lembaga Penjamin Simpanan, or IDIC, Indonesia Deposit Insurance Corporation. And just now, I've only just finished my second internship with Deloitte Consulting Southeast Asia, under their human capital consulting umbrella, doing organization transformation. So HR has been something that's really close to me, and I'm looking to continue that. So that's why I'm here now as the Human Capital VD at Students Catalyst. Why am I'm in my final year of university, and people always ask me why I still want to be involved in youth empowerment and in organizations despite being in last year of university, especially when I'm studying abroad. Well, the answer to that is I love it here. This is an opportunity for me personally to grow not only my HR skills but also my capability to empower others, because the big part of HR is you hire people and then you connect and deal with people, and they will help the company or the organization kind of establish a bigger dream. So by me being a students catalyst, I can reach more students, I can reach more people in Indonesia, people from Southeast Asia, or even the world, for a bigger and more better cause. I've also been active in competitions and distinctions inside outside of the country. And throughout my days, as I said, I love being in student-led organizations. And Students Catalyst is actually my 16th youth movement that I joined throughout my days. 21 years of living and 16 organizations later, here I am. And I'm very happy to be here with all of you, representing Students Catalyst and representing Youth Catalyst Foundation. So Students Catalyst, in case you haven't heard it before, we are one of the biggest student-led organizations in Indonesia. We have about 118,000 followers now on Instagram, and we are constantly growing. So our main project in Students Catalyst is a student incubation, which means we will have a program, a 6-month program with monthly forums and peer mentorship for the students. So we have about 100 to 120 students per year, and they come from different parts of Indonesia, and we just give them with the important skills, soft skills, hard skills, and all the things that they need to make themselves ready for the workforce, make themselves ready to step into the world after graduating from university. And above it all, we also want to help them grow their network. So I love working with student-led organizations. Again, it's always amazing to see young people with such great initiatives. And I would like to share why now. So the big question is the why, right? Why do we have to do something about all of this? Why do we have to make a social movement? Why do we have to be proactive in tackling all these problems that we see around us? Well, the problem is that Indonesia's human capital and educational landscape leave plenty of room for disruption. We still have so many room to grow, plenty of room for us to improve. And not only in Indonesia, I would say that some of these barriers work in other parts of the world, or even the entire world, to be honest. Like the first one here, barriers to entering the workforce remain high for our undergraduates, which is not only the case in Indonesia. I see people now in the UK also having that unreadiness to be in the workplace, whether that be a gap in the skills needed and the skills learned in university, or some people just don't know how to secure jobs, how to land roles in respective fields that they're interested in. Which leads me to number 2, is that work is changing rapidly. There are gaps that are found now that people didn't find 5-10 years ago, even just 2 years ago. The trend of work, the trend of workforce and career, they change very rapidly. And if we don't do something about it, well, unfortunately, the students won't be able to catch up. And there are also people coming from, leading to number 3, accessibility and challenging backgrounds that really widen that gap between people who have resource and people who have access and people who does not. And here are some statistics. Like, this is a very, every time I read this, I think, what can we do about this? Is the fact that students with a degree, they need more than 4 months to obtain their first job. When in reality, upon graduation, the ideal scenario is that they would be able to land a job, secure a role and start working. But that's not the case. We are having problems in our human capital landscape as well in terms of workforce, and we need to do something about it. Leading to that, 2.3 million graduate students faced unemployment last year in 2023. 2.3 million is such a big number. I don't even know 230 people, let alone add more zeros at the end of that. And this is a personal problem to Indonesia, like a country problem to Indonesia, but our hourly wage is also not as high as other countries around us. For example, Singapore, which with a big difference from $14 an hour an average wage per hour, and then compare that to Singapore's 74. And Indonesia only places fifth among Asian countries in terms of labor productivity. The question mark then is the same. What makes this labor productivity low? Well, again, maybe the lack of readiness for us to work, the lack of readiness for us to contribute in the workplace, that is both the hard skills and the soft skills. And these challenges are even more significant for youth with disabilities, youth that come from low-income backgrounds, maybe people from more remote areas of Indonesia who does not have access, the same access, or even no access at all compared to people living in bigger cities. And that is why it is part of our responsibility as young leaders to take action and drive meaningful change. And the whole presentation that I'm going to give in the next 15 minutes is just talking about what can we do? What can we do to enhance youth open-minded solutions for world problems? Well, the first one that I would like to share through all my experience in student-led organizations or social movements is on encouraging open-mindedness. What is open-mindedness? Well, youth and young people needs to be receptive of new ideas, perspective, and diverse experiences. So if you have lived in the same city for your whole life, then you can try open-mindedness by having friends from outside the city, by going on social media and finding out what other people are doing in other cities, by benchmarking to other places near your cities, and having the initiative to be open-minded, having the initiative to want to know more than what you are presented by in your surroundings. And well, the next question is why? Well, open-mindedness fosters adaptability and innovative thinking for solutions. This open-mindedness will help us tackle all the questions that we have in my previous slide. All the concerns that we have here, how do we solve them? What can we do about it? Is all stemming from our open-mindedness and our creative thinking. How will open-mindedness contribute to innovative solutions? Well, it puts forward creative present-day solutions and it encourages collaboration, whether that be across disciplines, across areas, or across functions, and it leads to richer and better ideas. For example, if I know ABC and then you know DEF, then we exchange. I will have ABCDEF, and you will also have ABCDEF. It's my favorite quote. If I have one apple and then you have one apple, and we exchange, we both still have one apple. But if I have one knowledge and you have one knowledge and we exchange, we both have two knowledge. So it multiplies. And open-mindedness has to be practiced by being curious. I love reading. My current read is Start With Why by Simon Sinek. And I love just reading books in general. Because reading books and reading everything helps us be.
Bu, satu dong, Bu. Buat aku. Mau dong saya satu, Bu.
Okay, I think the host muted the wrong person. Sorry. Yeah, and reading books and reading in general kind of leads to that creative thinking, and it helps you practice thinking outside of the box. Now, in terms of providing solutions to all the problems that I have, some people think and even myself included, when they hear the phrase think outside of the box, they will think about the image on the left. Okay, if I live in this point, then I have to think right in other places that are far from the center point. It's not wrong, but I feel like starting somewhere we totally don't know about and starting somewhere really big can feel daunting, can feel scary at times. So, what I have what I have concluded in my experience of student-led organization and youth movements is that thinking outside of the box to prepare the solutions to all of the concerns that I said in the beginning can look like picture on the right, which means that you can start with you can start with your surroundings, you can start with things that are familiar to you. This a good example of this is the online transportation that I mentioned in the beginning. All those services, they see that, oh, people need a ride to get from point A to point B. How do we make this more sustainable? So the idea of ride sharing was then introduced. Oh, maybe if you are going to the same destination at the end, you can go together. You can go on an app where you can find people who are going to the same direction as you, and you can join them along for the ride. And then the idea kind of grew, and it became what the commercialized version that we know now. But it still tackled the challenges of ojek, or motorcycle taxi that we have in Indonesia, that used to have no regulation. They used to just kind of be everywhere. The prices are not fixed. And then all of the startups in Indonesia kind of see that problem right around them and find a solution about it. So finding a solution to youth problems and being open-minded does not have to go very far. It does not have to start to in a point where it's not familiar to you, but rather I would say that we should start in places that we're familiar with. And a visual description for our friends here who might have visual impairments. I have two images on my slide. The left one is a picture of a box with points being scattered far away from the box, and on the right, the one that I said we should go for is a picture of a box in the middle, and just points scattered more closer to the box. Okay. And if you have had the idea, if you have fostered that open-mindedness, the next step is knowing what effective form of youth participation can you actually do. There are a lot of options that you have, and it's not limited to all these 4 boxes that I have, but this is the big general understanding of what you can do to participate in this whole thing. The first one is by empowering those around you. This is starting close, starting small, starting from places you're familiar with, starting from your school, starting from your community, your erte, your household, as being actively involved in grassroots initiatives and community projects. For example, if in your neighborhood there is an initiative to plant trees or be more green, then you participate in those initiatives. That's something that's very near to your house. That's something that you see every day. Those are the streets that you pass on your way to school, on your way to work. And starting in grassroots initiatives kind of allow you to see the patterns that are real in the world. Those are people that you know, those are people that live and work alongside you. And this is a very good place to start in terms of youth participation. Second one, I'm very grateful for this one, especially now that I get to be here as well, virtually, meeting all of you from all around Indonesia and the world, is social media for activism. Social media or online activism has been becoming more popular nowadays because of just the accessibility of it. Everyone can start a page. Everyone can post something on social media. Earlier when we played the game in the beginning, I saw that a lot of you put your finger down and saying yes, that yes, I have created content and I have uploaded it on Instagram or TikTok or any other social media. And that is a good thing. That is a very good thing, as I myself sometimes people call it brain rot. I spend just hours on my bed just scrolling TikTok endlessly, and every once in a while I do get a video that is interesting, a video that is full of knowledge, full of new information, and I just think to myself, wow, social media is such a great platform for people to speak about the good things that they're doing. So if you want to start right in your bed, right in your bedroom, then this will be a great place to start as well. The third one is what I'm doing right now, joining Students Catalyst, is active participation in joining social movements, advocacy campaigns, and policy discussions. So the fact that you guys are already here is already proving point number 3, which is active participation. And if you continue this and you're inspired to make your own movement, maybe you can collaborate with the foundation as well. Earlier, they've mentioned that they're open for collaboration, right? And that is another good place for you to kind of reflect your youth participation. Speaking about making your own movement, leading to number 4, you can also initiate your own campaigns and make your own cause and promoting it to the larger audience. But make sure you know the why. You know what drives you to do that. You know what's the purpose of that movement, what's the purpose of that campaign. And once that is established, you can also go to point number 1, point number 2, point number 3. So all of these points are intercorrelated, and they all have their own parts in youth participation and youth empowerment. Okay, the next question is, what challenges does it come with? These things that I've just mentioned, of course, they come with challenges. I'd say there are 3 biggest challenges that youth face in youth empowerment. Number 1 is lack of funding and resources. Yes, of course, unfortunately, to run your own social movement, there will be expenses, big or small. You will have to make your sacrifices in terms of financial responsibilities. And also resources. For example, to make videos, you need your phone. For example, to make your video, you need connection to Wi-Fi, connection to the network. And you might not have that in your respective areas of where you're residing. Then what can we do about it? I would say that we can leverage community support and partnerships. Community support, as in you reach out to an already established movement, you reach out again to this foundation. They're very great for opening the opportunity for collaboration. So feel free to reach them out and say, I want to create this movement, I want to create this event, and then just form that partnership with these already established organizations. Or you can also collaborate with the similar organizations that are also just starting out, as you guys will be able to relate to each other and help each other find bigger resources together. The second one, this is one of the hardest one, I personally think, is that it is the limited access to networks and mentors. So this catalyst we're very lucky to already establish such a big following that it's not as challenging for us to kind of create that network of mentors and create that network of students. But as starting new, it can be quite challenging. But I think what we can do in terms of youth empowerment is to seek mentorship. Again, you can always reach out to people and ask. It takes a village to build a social movement. And so practice that collaboration skills with organizations, with firms, with other movements, other campaigns around you. And the last one is that people might not agree with your movement. Maybe you introduce a new platform for learning, and then people are just so used to learning traditionally, conventionally in schools, and they don't see your solution as something that's feasible to do now. But what you can do about it is to kind of prove yourself and develop those initiatives again back to your grassroots, back to the people around you, and kind of implementing that one person at a time, one community at a time, one school at a time, and then you can go from there. However, talking about youth empowerment, we must also remember that there are people with disabilities and they face physical and societal challenges. We have to acknowledge that they are here together with us, and we have to, you know, be with them, walk alongside them, and make sure they're involved in our movements as well. There are also people with financial difficulties, and that also will lead to the limit of for people to be limited in their access of opportunities. There are also people with language barriers. Not everyone maybe can speak English. Also in Indonesia, even not everyone is fluent with Bahasa Indonesia. I have met and worked together, collaborate with people from other parts of Indonesia, and throughout their lives they've been using their mother language, which is native to their tribes or their ethnicity, and they weren't able to speak Indonesia fluently. So we also must remember that there are people with language barriers. And last but not least, there are also people with no technology access. And unfortunately, that creates an even greater digital divide. So, in terms of youth empowerment, I have 4 final points. We must, first of all, recognize the barriers, what our barriers are, and what the barriers for other people are for joining our movement. The second one is to make sure our opportunities are inclusive. Make sure you befriend everyone, you want to work with everyone, and create an accessible platform, create accessible programs as well. The third one is collaboration. You have to create an environment where individuals can contribute their perspectives, where people can say out their ideas as well. And the last point is advocacy. And once you have your own platform, make sure to use it for good. Use it to promote policies and practices that ensure equal access to all the good things that you're aiming for, whether that be education, employment, social participation, gender equality, whatever you're fighting for. Once you have that youth empowerment platform, make sure you do your voice for good. Yeah, I think that should be my last slide. Thank you so much for being here, for tuning in. My last message is just to let's together create a long-lasting impact for me, for you, and for generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ms. Faisa, for that very inspiring presentation. It is very enlightening to see how open-minded youth can tackle global challenges. We now have a time for a few questions. I saw earlier during the session, someone already excited to ask question. So guys, it's your time. Feel free to submit your question through the chat, or maybe if you are comfortable enough, you can just raise your hand and ask directly to Ms. Faisa. All right. There is Miss Aisha Putri. Maybe you can unmute your mic and start ask the question.
Okay, thank you so much, moderator, for the opportunity. Thank you so much, Kak Faisa, for very much inspiring materials to inspire all of us in here. In terms my name is Asha. I'm from Universitas Indonesia, SMSU, but I'm from Social and Political Sciences, and I'm a social welfare student. And I want to ask that you're in the UK right now, and what is like the benchmark of education program or policy that Indonesia have to take to make the quality of education is much better? Because I think that UK has some integrated education system that we need to take a look, because we still have we still have a lot of things to do for making our system much better. Thank you so much.
Okay, hi Aisha, thank you so much. I always go to your canteen because your food is better than my faculty. So nice to see you here, and thank you for the question as well. I've been in the UK for over a year, and I think the number one thing that I realized, especially the double degree program, has allowed me to experience studies both in Indonesia and also here. I think the biggest thing that I think Indonesian universities or Indonesian youth can start doing is not looking at hobbies like only with one eye, because here, if you talk about societies or student clubs or youth movements, you will see a lot of different ones. I am also joining a society in campus. It's called the Arts and Crafts Society, and people in university actually open opportunity for you to want to be interested in arts, interested in music, interested in your hobbies, whatever that is. We have Taylor Swift Society here. We have tea tasting society. We have like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu society. Whatever it is your hobby, as long as it's positive, the university will support you. The university will help you create a student-led organization, will help you help you create a society in that respective fields. And I find that really intriguing because in my time of studies in Indonesia, whether that be in my primary education or even further higher education, they always stick to organizations that are more oriented in career, which is great, oriented in professions, which is great. However, it's also great and know that youth empowerment can be reflected about other things as well, like what the game I played in the beginning, like which one of you, I'm just looking at the screen, how many of you does arts and crafts? Because all these activities, as long as they're positive, they will create a positive impact. They will allow youth to fill their time with things that are actually beneficial, things that are actually positive, instead of spending their time, as I said, also what I do, brain rot and just like scrolling on the internet nonstop, or going to places or doing things that they're not supposed to be doing, supposed to be going to. So I think that's the biggest one that I see in terms of youth empowerment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Ka Faisa. Best of luck for your educational journey in UK.
Thank you. I hope you the best of luck too. Semoga bisa come here and join me, maybe for masters, maybe for other studies in the future. Okay.
All right, thank you, Aisha, for the question, and that was wonderful answer from Ms. Waisa. And here I found the question from Ms. Diana from the tourism panel. I will try to read it. Would you agree that increasing access to vocational training and field job recognition could reduce unemployment and improvement workforce readiness for high school and undergraduate students? How is this applied in the UK, and do you notice a difference in the student outcomes? As one of the members of Deloitte Asia, how do you view social media advocacy movement as part of Resume, and which movement, if any, other is strong enough to be mentioned?
Okay, so there are two questions. Thank you so much, Kadiana, for the questions. Yeah, I think I'll start with the first question about the vocational training and field job recognition. I think that was a fantastic question. I always say and speak to my friends that vocational studies and vocational further education should be more democratized in Indonesia, because work readiness is taught there, which is not taught in universities. Even now in University of Indonesia, there are on the job skills that they don't give us, but they do teach that in vocational schools And people upon graduation from vocational schools, people are more work ready. They can fill in and work in jobs that are more real, more they can go to an office and they would already know how to do the job, which is a skill that people always overlook. When people hear the phrase like vocational school, they will always think, oh, they are not proper higher education. I always hear people say that. When in reality, I completely disagree with that. People who are in vocational schools, I admire them and they have better work readiness than I am. So if the Indonesian government and Indonesia as Ministry of Education can promote bigger, better, more distributed vocational schools, then I think that will open a gate for us in the future to expand more work centers in not just in bigger cities, but also in other parts of Indonesia as well. And talking about vocational studies, in the UK, they actually have like a further education course. So those are not exactly universities. Those are colleges that people can go to. It's similar to D3 dan D4 in Indonesia, which is vocational higher education. And again, upon finishing that program, they will be work ready. There are a lot of vocational subjects that I think can be the focus in Indonesia personally. Other than the first one, of course, is the technical ones. People who work in engineering, so there should be vocational engineering schools, people who will work in factories and plants as the executors of machines, as the executors of the productions. It will be great if they can come from people from vocational backgrounds because they are capable and we can make that happen. Secondly, near my house, there's a vocational school focusing on tourism as well. And tourism is something that we have not yet uncovered our whole big opportunity. We have lots of room for improvement as well, in tourism as well in Indonesia. And so vocational schools in hospitality and tourism can be the next solution of opening tourism gates to Indonesia. So I think that those are the two most popular ones. And the third one is also as important, if not more important, but I already see this one growing in Indonesia, is the one in healthcare. So people doing physiotherapy, people doing people who aims to become a nurse, people who aims to be in public health, they can take vocational steps because the doctor or to the healthcare workers and population ratio in Indonesia is still so little compared to other countries, and vocational studies can be the solution for that. I hope that answered your first question. A very interesting question. I would love for us to discuss on that a bit more and see what you think. But I think I'll move on to the second question for the time being. For the CV part and social media advocacy, I actually put on my CV, so you have the description, you have your education, you have your job listed down, work experience or professional experience, and then you, at the very bottom, I always have a slot for skills and additional information. And in that section, I will always include sort of catalyst and all the social movements that I'm doing, just for them to see that I'm interested in volunteering and youth empowerment. I think that's not specific to Deloitte, but I think it's like it works in applying to other jobs as well. Okay, I think that's all for Kak Diana's question.
Okay, thank you very much. So we're receiving a lot of questions. Better we jump to the next question. It's from Florencia from the panel education. Hi, Kak Faisa. For most of the tips and tricks you've mentioned, we know that it is already applied in Indonesia. But as we can see, it is still need some improvement. What do you think? A thing that sometimes not get the spotlight it needed, but really important based on the panel you shared.
Okay, wow. To think about something that I didn't write. To be honest with you, all of the tips that I mentioned are way easier said than done. So even I myself, if I reflect back to, talk about open-mindedness, talking about collaborating with other people, it's so easy for me to say this here. It's really easy for me to say it out loud, but when I do it myself, suddenly it becomes difficult. And I think that's the one thing that people always skip, is recognizing that it is difficult. Having that kind of knowledge that you have your understanding that it is difficult, and what you can do about it. So I think the one thing that people like often skip, even I myself skip, is knowing that again, it takes a village to build a movement like that, and you cannot do it alone. You cannot do it just by yourself, single man, single woman, singular human being, to be able to do it just yourself. The one thing that sometimes not get the spotlight is that you need that community first. Find people with similar values, people with similar goals, people with similar aims, and finding them can be done through these kind of events. It can be done through organizations. It can be done through social media. But find them. Like you cannot do that just by yourself, just alone. And I think that's sometimes overlooked, because people think that when you make a social movement, it's like people are not interested. That's not true. People are interested. The right group of people, they are interested. So find that group of people and work together with them. I'd say it's the best tip. But again, whatever I said here is easier said than done. So it is the hard part, the daunting part is the execution. And on that part, you will encounter challenges that I don't mention here, challenges that you don't even see coming, and just persevere through. Again, if you need anything, reach out to people. If you are stuck, let others around you help you. And if you want to grow further and higher heights, further distances, then you can always collaborate with bigger names as well. So yeah. That didn't really answer your question, did it? But there's no exact one thing, but I think that's where we can start with in terms of youth empowerment.
All right, thank you for the answer, Kak Faisa. Okay, we were moving on to the next question. I will read from Nisa from the panel education. Hello, Ms. Faisa. I'm Nisa Panel from Brunei Darussalam under education, future head pursuing my studies in University of Indonesia too. My question will be, what are the main challenges facing the education system in UK? How the tuition fees for higher education vary across different regions in the UK?
Hey, interesting question. I think the thing that people have to know about the UK is that the UK has been advanced since so long ago. Our trains, our tubes, or our MRTs, our buses, our roads, our schools, they were established hundreds of years ago. So I'd say that as someone who steps foot into the UK and study here, as an outsider who studies here, I think that the main challenge that is faced in the UK is the fact that it's constantly not growing as much as other countries, because they feel like they've already been successful for so long and they're okay with being in that level of success. So there's no improvement going forward. The trains that they use in London are the same trains that they used 100 years ago. So imagine the color of the seats are not green anymore, it's now brown. And the schools that people go to, the buildings, they have leaks, they have holes. That's just a physical thing. And if you go deeper, it's the system that has been constant since hundreds of years ago, and they're not improving in a speed that other countries are evolving in. And because of that, I think it's different in outcomes because they are not as technology savvy as Indonesians are, especially in the bigger cities. They are having challenges as well in introducing like popular trends and research, popular trends and education in like in comparison to other already established countries. So even though they are still growing at a certain pace, the pace is not as fast as other developed countries. I think that's the biggest challenge. Uh, and because of that, I noticed a difference in student outcomes because if their graph of growth in students like knowledge is like a bit constant and lean, ours in Indonesia is more steep. Our learning curve is bigger and higher than them, which is a good thing for us because that's an opportunity for us to kind of beat them in the race to become like better in 10, 15, 20 years to come because their growth is slowing down. And in the UK, the fees or higher education, it varies across regions. The answer to that is it varies a little bit, but to be honest, the top universities in each areas are kind of the same from one area to another, from one country to sorry, from one city to another. But what's interesting in the UK is that they are very, very equal. So the top universities in the UK, one of them is in the south, one of them is in the north, one of them is on the south east, and then the other one is near the middle. The other one is close to Ireland. The other one is very up north where it's really cold. And once it's one city, they will always have in every city they will always have one or two established universities that have international reputations. So if you drop yourself on a random pin in the UK, oh, for example, close your eyes and then drop pin in Durham, there will be a good university in Durham. If you drop a pin in Sheffield, there will be a good university in Sheffield. So that's what I think Indonesians need to work towards, because now the definition of top university in Indonesia is very much still limited. And when we talk about top university, we will think of the same 10 names. Whereas in the UK, there will also be the top ones, but people have their dream universities right down the road from where they live as well. So that's what I think we can learn from the UK in terms of higher education.
All right, thank you for the answer, Miss Faisa. We actually have a lot questions, but unfortunately we have a very limited time. So for the remaining questions, maybe you can directly ask to Miss Faisa in other time, or maybe if is there any contact information that maybe our participant can contact Ms. Faisa for these questions?
Yes, of course, I would love to answer all of these questions. To be honest, I'm down for a discussion, an online discussion. You can go and chat with me as well. I think the best way for us to communicate is through LinkedIn. It's just my name that is in my display name, which is Faisa Shala Sabila. Feel free to connect me and just see if you have any things that you want to discuss, anything that piques your interest in our discussion today, or anything HR related, anything Students Catalyst related, anything UK related as well. If you want to study here and come visit, maybe you can ask questions as well. So it'll be LinkedIn under my name, and I will send the link on the chat as well.
All right. Wonderful. Thank you, Ms. Faisa, for all the contact information. And maybe our fellow participant can save the address and can contact Ms. Faisa directly and later on. All right. After that, we have information for the from the Youth Catalyst Foundations regarding their events and the organizations. Maybe Kak Faisa can tell the information to the participant.
Yes, thank you so much. As my closing remarks, I would just like once again to say thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the fruitful discussion. And myself, and on behalf of Youth Catalyst Foundation, we are so happy to be here. And Youth Catalyst Foundation, Students Catalyst is not our only movement. We have Internet with the double N in the middle, Internet, also Flash Campus, and we are working together towards bettering the education and the workplace readiness in Indonesia in terms of work, again, hard skills, soft skills, as well as providing network and information for people to be more ready in the workplace. So do give us a follow on Instagram or in LinkedIn or on LinkedIn if you're interested in joining us, being a part of our management team, being a part of our mentors, being a student in our organizations as well. You will find all the informations on our socials and on our website as well, which was presented at the end of my presentation. Or later after this, once we have connected on LinkedIn, I'm happy to share more information as well. But stay tuned for more events in the future. Stay tuned for our movements in the future and come be a part of us if you're interested. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Faisa, for sharing those very exciting informations, and from the Youth Catalyst Foundation as well. Thank you very much for the presentation as well. All right. Now we'll be taking a short 15 minutes break before our next session. Maybe during this time, I'd love to share some great opportunities from the Youth Indonesia Youth Foundation, the proud organizer of this Bali International Student Festival 2024. As part of our mission to support youth development, we've created this inclusive IYF merchandise like tote bags, phone cases, and T-shirt that you can check out. And to further support your career journey, we also offer the CV writing consultation services, starting with just 25,000 rupiah to help you to stand up in your job or interview research. And we also offer translation services from Indonesia to English and vice versa, starting at 75,000 rupiah. And it's perfect for your document or communication needs. All right, feel free to explore these offers during the break, and we'll see you here for the next session with Mr. Ahmad Afrian. We'll resume at 20:35 with our next session. See you in 15 minutes.
Since the sunshine comes from the east, till the light of the dark is coming, we are all up in our eyes, we are all up in our heart, we are all up in our mind, under the same sky. Not only one in blood and land, not only one skin
As Indonesia gears up to leverage the bonus demographic in 2045, known as Indonesia Emas 2045, youth participation plays a pivotal role in realizing this vision. With nearly 75 million young generations and over 69 million millennials, youth are the biggest part of the populations of Indonesia with 53.81% of the total population. They are the driving force of the nation. Hence, most of the youth in Indonesia have entered the productive age, while the rest will be able to participate in the workforce in the coming years. But one thing for sure, their voices matter, their choices count, and their actions will be very important in shaping the future of Indonesia Emas 2045.
Indonesian Youth Diplomacy is a non-profit youth organization that actively promotes international exposure and drives inclusive empowerment for Indonesian youths to be influential voices at the national and international level. Through its 4 overriding missions: sustainability, inclusivity, relevance, and impact, we aim to ensure that the Indonesian youths understand the importance of their voice and role in national and global diplomacy and policymaking.
As we stand on the threshold of a new chapter, Indonesian diplomacy charts a course towards an even bolder horizon, aligning our missions with the visionary aspirations of Indonesia Emas 2045. With this view, IYD has always been dedicated to nurturing the leaders of tomorrow. As Indonesia Emas 2045 spirit lies in our initiatives, we set sail towards a future where prosperity, innovation, and inclusivity reign supreme. Indonesia Emas 2045, that's the future we are building at IYD. Moreover, IYD is committed to enhancing its inclusivity values and Indonesia Emas 2045 goals from Sumatra to Tanah Papua. Our local chapter spearhead change and empowerment across every corner of the country.
Our journey has been this far. Since the chairmanship of Y20 Indonesia 2022, we are continuously forging collaboration with various stakeholders in private and public sectors. We are now connected to more than 50 youth organizations around the world, which have diverse focus and agenda in development. We have also been working collaboratively with government institutions, business sectors, think tanks, and local organizations in conducting various youth development activities and projects. For us, from youth to you is not just a tagline. We set emphasis that the future starts from youth. Our commitment for Indonesian youth is to provide the best of the best capacity building, network to voice their opinion on development agenda to targeted stakeholders. With our diversity in network and strong point of collaboration in making impacts, we see the opportunity to become your strategic partners. And together, we can combine our force in achieving common goals for sustainable development for the future. We do so with the support of 9 specialized divisions.
Through all the dedication and effort that have been carried out, Indonesian youth diplomacy is constantly committed to being the answer for the Indonesian youth. The future is now. Are you ready to rise and answer the call? Because Indonesian youth diplomacy is not just about us. It's about you. From youth to you, from us to Indonesia.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. It's already 2035, and I hope you had a refreshing break. Let's dive into our second session for today. Our next speaker is Mr. Ahmad Afrian, the Managing Director of the ASEAN Youth Organization. Mr. Ahmad is known for his effort to building strong youth partnerships across the ASEAN nations. Mr. Ahmad's expertise lies in creating networks and partnerships that drive sustainable development. Today, he'll be speaking on youth participation in a better world through partnership for success. All right, without any further ado, let's give a warm welcome to our next wonderful speaker, Mr. Ahmad Afrian. The stage is yours.
Hello everyone, good evening. Am I audible? Evie? Hi, hello Evie. A very good evening.
Hi, Ka. It's very clear, Ka.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much for the warm welcome. Hello, fellow youth leaders across the Indonesia and beyond. Allow me then introduce myself. My name is Rian. Foreigners usually call me Ryan. I am currently serving as the Managing Director of the ASEAN Youth Organization. So it is my honor to be able to share with you all this evening to talk about the youth participation and also related to partnership. Allow me then to share my screen. I hope that you can see my screen now. So I've prepared a few slides for you to be able to digest more about the theme that requested for the ASEAN Youth Organization to share with you all, which is youth participation in a better world through partnership for success. So allow me then to invite you all to see your screen right now. So I think before I start about the theme, I'd like to share with you and introduce you a bit of our organization, which is ASEAN Youth Organization. So we're currently the largest youth-led and youth-focused organization in Southeast Asia. And one of our milestone is we will receive the most prestigious award by the ASEAN Secretariat in 1 or 2 weeks, starting from now. So our founder and our chairperson will be flying for Lao PDR to receive the prize directly from the leaders of the ASEAN member states. So we're very honored to be able to always pursue and to promote the meaningful youth engagement concept and also related to economic, socio-cultural, and also political security in Southeast Asia and beyond. So um, these are a bit of our milestones and also experience of fully creating more impacts, not only across the Southeast Asia, but also beyond. And our reach monthly, and we have our active members as well and alumni across the world, not only specifically in Southeast Asia countries. So we can reach out to more young people, not only in urban area, but also rural areas. Feel free to hit us up and also follow our activities. We have a lot of exciting projects and also opportunities for you all to contribute and participate. Do not forget to follow us on our social media and sometimes regularly check our websites as well for exciting opportunities. So I think without any further ado, let me then share with you all about today's menu requested by the organizers for me to be able to share related to youth participation and partnership. So I would like to start with asking this question. Based on your knowledge, what is the age range of youth? So I remove the TH because I believe that all of participants right now still considered youth. So can you please type it down on the Zoom chat box? What is the age range of youth. So the age bracket of youth. What do you think? Perhaps between 15 until 35 years old, so then we can consider to be youth, or maybe 16 until 35. Please type it down here on the Zoom chat box so we can. All right, we can engage. Awesome. Thank you so much for already typing it out on the Zoom chat box. I saw 14 until 35. Oh, interesting. We have 21 years old, then followed with 15 until 28. We have 21, 15, 24, 15, 35. We have 21, 21, 16 until 35, 17, 27. All right, and the answers keep coming. Thank you so much, everyone. Okay, hold on. After these slides, in the next two slides, I'm going to share with you the answer for that questions. But let me then ask you with the last question. So the last question would be, what is the first word that comes to your mind when you hear the word of partnership? There is no right and wrong for these questions, yeah? So please feel free to type it out on the Zoom chat box. Collaborations, connection, awesome. Cooperation, collaborations. Oh, I saw a lot of collaborations. Lovely. We have network, we have agreement, we have engage, we have collaborations as well. So I think the top of mind would be collaborations. Awesome. We have purposes, we have channel. All right. Oh, I notice you have your own uniformity, yeah? The username. I saw finance, I saw tourism, I saw youth empowerment. It's related to your allocated group, I think. So yeah, we have relations and things like that. Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. Can we give virtual round of applause for all of you? Thank you so much for your kind participation. So again, for these specific questions, definitely there is no right and wrong answer. And we're going to discuss further details in the next few minutes, yeah? So let me invite you go back to the first question. So when it comes to youth age bracket, it depends on the definitions that we are going to use. It could be from our own country, especially for me, I'm from Indonesia, and I believe the organizers also based in Indonesia. So I use as an example of my country, which is Indonesia. So in the law, in the regulations, the government decided to set the limitation. So if one can consider themselves as youth, they should be between 16 until 30 years old. But it's different case in ASEAN because I'm representing also the associations of Southeast Asian nations. The governance of the ASEAN decided to have the youth age bracket between 15 until 35 years old. So it depends again on the definitions that we're going to. So what I would like to tell with y'all that it is important as well to understand that when it comes to youth, we need to understand who are the people that can be included and recognized as youth. So I do really hope that most of us still include in the age of youth. If not, or not yet, then we could be able to understand that we have another role to pursue when it comes to meaningful youth engagement. So next would be, what would be the questions is, what is meaningful youth engagement then? So at least it consists of these 3 points, everyone. First would be partnerships between youth. Again, youth, when it comes to age bracket, you can use any definition, but maybe we can limit to Indonesia and or ASEAN limitations. If in ASEAN, it's between 15 and 35 years old. And also partnership between youth and non-youth entities. So it could be older generations or also maybe younger generations. And next would be this activity engage in policy and or program. And not forget to mention, when it comes to meaningful youth engagement, youth recognized as leader, knowledge holder, and also equal partner. It is really important to highlight because sometimes we face with tokenistic participations or maybe um, yeah, tokenistic participation. So we want to avoid that definitely. We want to fight against that. So that's why it is important for us to understand that we are, as youth, we are also the leader of today, not only for the leader of tomorrow. We have also the knowledge, and also we need to be recognized as equal partner to other entities. So next, I'd like to invite everyone to go to the second menu, which is forms of partnerships. So when it comes to partnerships, what I find is at least these 4 points. First would be the state of being partner. Then we engage together. We're doing same activity, and there is like co-share and co-deliver when it comes to the activity that we're talking about. So then it is important for us to understand this aspect. Um, Again, partnerships could be have so many definition, but it is important for us to limit as well when we're going to discuss, so we can have a direct discussion and understanding when it comes to partnership. So being partner meaning that we have the equality, we have the same understanding, we have objectives, we have the same goal towards something that we want to reach together. It could be two entities, or it could be more than two entities. It depends on the how we're going to direct this partnership between these entities. So when we're talking about forms of partnerships, I want to share these concepts as well. It's, I think, commonly used in academic world. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's coming from Indonesia. Please correct me if I'm wrong, if you all know. So there's this concept called ABCGM. So it is allow us to identify with this concept when it comes to mapping the stakeholders when we're talking about partnership. So there is A stands for academic, B stands for business, followed with community, followed with government, and the last would be media. So when we're talking about partnerships, we can identify the stakeholders involved in these activities using this concept. So I think it is very essential for us, and it allows us to identify better. So it it become like sort of like a tools for us to map as well, to connect with the relevant stakeholders in building our partnerships. Let me give you some example. So when we're talking about A stands for academician, one of the partnership that we can do, what I would like to suggest, that the usual practice for us as the youth, for example, in the educational institution setting, one would be, for example, like organize seminar or workshop at a university. You could represent student union, for example, or maybe specific student community in one faculty that focus, for example, on sports or maybe on drama and things like that. So you could co-organize seminar or a workshop together. And when it comes to business, could be also related to grant application. And then community, you can co-initiate youth exchange program with another community that exists in your local area. So when we talk about the government, one of the partnership that we can build is implementing organization to become one of the implementing organization of a government project. And last but not least is media. One of the activities would be you can be a regular guest at a radio station. Um, so these are one of the forms of partnerships that we can do um, when it comes to youth participation and partnership. Again, my sincere apologies for the background noises. I do hope that y'all can hear me clearly, yeah? So next would be, I'd like to invite you all to the partnership success. Um, Based on my experience in AYO and also my working, um, especially related to meaningful youth engagement, at least these are a few points that I think would be the main criteria to have a successful partnership. First would be definitely clear communication. We need to have an open and transparent communications with all parties. We need to voice out our interest and opinions also clearly, so there will be like no multi understanding within one message. Next would be definitely we need to have shared vision and values. It is definitely important to have long lasting partnership. Um, Not forget to mention, we try our best to have win-win solutions and positions as well. So if we get the benefits, we do really hope that our opponent also get the benefits as well. And because we're talking about youth participations, we cannot definitely afford interregional partnership. So I'd like also to highlight these concepts as well, because we need to have partnerships between youth and non-youth entities with trust and respect, with the adequate awareness and understandings as well when it comes to youth participation and meaningful youth engagement, so that we can create mutual and equal relationships with clear task allocation, with the responsibility and the roles as well between each entities, so that we can benefit by these partnerships, not only for us, but also our opponents as well. So these are a few questions that you can ask when it comes to building a partnership. First would be, who are the key stakeholders that have an interest in and or responsibility for youth in the national or local context related to your program? It is important for us to identify this because we want to collaborate or build the partnership with the relevant stakeholders, right? So it is important for you to identify the stakeholders, and you also need to dig deeper. How much the interest and the influence do they have when it comes to enabling meaningful youth participation in your context? And how then actively those stakeholders work together to enable meaningful youth engagement? Because when it comes to youth participation and partnership, we cannot avoid the awareness, the understanding of those stakeholders, to what extent their interest and influence to be able to enable this meaningful youth participation and engagement, so that we can inclusively all the the parties involved when it comes to meaningful youth engagement. So these are the questions that you might want to consider if you want to build a partnership with certain stakeholder, so that you can have a more direct and effective approach and strategies as well to build the partnership with the relevant stakeholders. And the last that I would like to share with you, these are some tips and tricks. So I think I have 2 slides more. Yeah? Definitely be prepared. You need to know the person that you would like to build the partnership. You can browse them first, browse their social media, you can browse their website, you can get to know more about the the opponent that you would like to meet, to know more better, so that you can build the communications and the connection better, so they can understand you also better. I think also important, always remember that you have your own value. You need to reach certain goals as well. So it will be not scattered around when it comes to building the communications and doing the approach to the potential partner. And be courteous as well. I hope I pronounced this word correctly. Yeah? So it is important to follow certain norm. We need to use our own values as well. If you want to build the partnership with, for example, like the Asian related entities, you might need also to learn more about the Asian values. But if you would like to build the partnership with, for example, like the European potential partners, in my opinion, you need to be able to be aware of about their values as well. So you can connect better with them and you can build the connections definitely. And I think it allows us to have a more open and transparent communications with them. And we need also to understand that these partners definitely have a lot of things to do as well. So we need to be brief. Do not talk like all over the places, and in short, do not waste of your time and their time. So be brief, be concise as well, be clear. Definitely, if we doing like courtesy call with them, or maybe we share something with them about things that we would like to offer with them, we need to be able to understand that they're busy. We also need to prioritize our own energy and times as well. So be brief, followed with be confidence and be pursued. Because in my opinion, sometimes one of the challenge when it comes to meaningful youth engagement is sometimes we are not fully recognized of our own power as youth, which is really sad. So I do really hope that 100 participants now joining this Bali International Youth Forum now would understand that you have your own power, you have your own ability to do a lot of things. And not forget to mention that we are as youth, that we are the leaders of today. We are the knowledge holders of today. So we need to be able to use these momentums as well. And not forget to mention always do follow up, because sometimes that we already built the communications with the potential partners, sometimes we forget to following up with them. So dig into the communications with them is very important. Sometimes even myself also sometimes I forget to maintain the long lasting relationship and communications with our previous partners or current partners, because we tried our best to always get the new partners, right? Sometimes we forget that we need to always to maintain the good communications between the current partners that we have. So be pursued. The thing that I would like to share with you, always following up with your potential or current partners, so then we could have a long-lasting partnership, and we can create a positive, sustainable impacts as well for fellow youth in Southeast Asia and beyond. So I think that concludes my sharing session. I do really hope that you can get something. I'm not really sure whether we have still time to have a question and answer. So allow me then to give back the floor to our amazing moderator, Effie. Back to you, Effie.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Ryan, for the very wonderful presentation. It's really great to hear how partnership can empower youth and to create a real change in the society. Now, we'll open to the floor for questions. Please, participant, be ready and submit your question in a chat. Or if you are comfortable, you can just raise your hand and ask directly to Mr. Ryan. Oh, perfect. We have question already here okay. I will read the question from the chat box first, and then for those who raise hand, we'll have the time. Okay, from the chat box from Florencia, from the education panel. Hi, Kak Ryan. How to really foster a greater partnership among youth in Indonesia and the impact globally that can really be measured in a long time period using the government help, one that already happened is like student exchange.
Awesome. So let me answer the first question from Florencia. Effie. Thank you so much, Florencia, for the question. Thank you so much for highlighting this. I think it's really important to build the partnership among youth as well, yeah. Because I think I was highlighting more between the intergenerational partnership. Um, but at the same time, we cannot forget that it's important for us as fellow youth-led organization, for example, to have the great collaborations as well. If you are asking how, first I think would be to understand that each organization we have our own values and way of communication and way of work. So I think really it's really important to have the awareness as well, so that we can build the communications better with them. We can connect more with them. Few of the strategies would be we can say hi with them. We can invite them to have a discussions at cafe shop, for example. Make it casual because we're youth. We don't want to have that bureaucratic way of communications, right? Definitely. So keep it quite casual, I think. But again, we need to be able to adjust with their own values because sometimes each, not sometimes, each organizations, they have their own, again, way of communications, way of priorities as well. So I think the awareness of that would definitely help. Um, and we need also to put in our mindset that in order for us to foster the meaningful youth engagement, we are the youth focused community, we need to collaborate. So the collaborations is the key. If it's in Indonesia, we can call it kolaborasi is kunci, definitely. So yeah, back to you, Effie.
All right, thank you for the answer, Mr. Ryan. So we have three people raising their hands. Okay, I think I will jump to Anra from the tourism panel. Okay, short your questions.
Okay, so thank you, Mr. Ryan, for the insightful discussion before. I just wanted to ask, since I'm curious, since you were a part of the Asian Youth Organization, how has youth engagement or youth participation been manifested in Asian Youth Organization through maybe events or programs done in Asian Youth Organization? And I was wondering, like, since from your observation as the managing director in Asian Youth Organization, what are maybe like some improvements that needs to be done in regards to youth participation and engagement?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Andra, for the questions. Amazing. So I'd like to address the first questions. Yeah. What I understand is the current situations when it comes to meaningful youth engagement, right now. So definitely there are a lot of rooms for improvement. So that's why we exist, because we want to contribute to foster the meaningful youth engagement especially in ASEAN region. Yeah. I mean in Southeast Asia region. But I think a lot of stakeholders now understand better and aware and recognize more that we are not leaders of tomorrow only, but we are the leaders. I think it is important for us, to understand because the narratives circulating in the world globally usually they limit us as the leaders of tomorrow, where in fact, in reality, a lot of leaders of today also youth. So I think the trends also helping with that as well. So it is important for us as well as not only as the youth but also the stakeholders to understand this. And also I'd like to invite all the stakeholders, not also the government, but also the private and other stakeholders, to use these momentums as well. If you're talking about ASEAN, I think there they're doing their best to recognize more the youth. One of the example would be giving the ASEAN Youth Organization prize, prestigious prize, which is ASEAN prize. I think it's a big statement that the ASEAN, as the highest authority in Southeast Asia, they recognize our work as as ASEAN youth. It is not merely only for the ASEAN organization, but it is a statement that all of us here, if you are between 15 until 35 years old, we are then recognized by the ASEAN Secretary Authority that we can do something, we can contribute something, and we are not only the leaders of tomorrow, leaders of today. And the second question would be, what would be the strategy to increase the meaningful youth engagement? Yeah. So many ways. First would be being able to fully understand and fully understood about the meaningful youth engagement concept. I think after this, after answering some questions I can share with you, I am co-create meaningful youth engagement toolkit endorsed by UNESCO headquarters in Paris, France. I was the co-author. It's available online free, so I can share with y'all, so y'all can understand and learn better about this meaningful youth engagement. So what I would really hope that after you leave from this Zoom meeting room, you could read this toolkit and you could implement within your own community and local areas. So it will be not stop here after this event, but rather then this is a starting journey for y'all to help us, to assist us as well to circulating this meaningful youth engagement concept. And other than that, definitely we're still doing advocacy work at high levels and also other levels as well. We're doing a lot of grassroots works as well in all of ASEAN member states in 10 countries. We provide scholarships as well for fellow youth who are needed. We create content because I know social media currently the most powerful tools. And we want to hear more as well from the youth, so we try our best to engage more with the fellow youth to hear their thoughts, opinions, their concerns, their challenges, so we can voice out to the authority. Yeah, I think that would be all. Thank you. I hope that I answered your answers. Yeah. And thank you. Back to you, Effie.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Ryan. Maybe we can move on to the next Aisha from the tourism panel.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ms. Ryan, for the comprehensive presentations about youth partnerships. As we all know that Asian has a lot of potentials in tourism, but at the other side, we face a lot of problems. Like, for the example, Bali. Bali will face over-tourism phenomenon that, of course, has a bad impact to the local community. And my question is, what role does Asian youth play in promoting responsible tourism, and how can youth partnerships enhance this effort to reduce negative impacts like over tourism that I said before? Thank you, Ms. Ryan.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Aisha from Tourism Group. Yeah. Yeah, it is indeed. ASEAN has a lot of to offer us when it comes to tourism. I'm definitely firsthand seeing a lot of potentials that we have as ASEAN member states. By the way, I just arrived from Malaysia to have our to organize our event ASEAN Youth Exchange, heavily on tourism aspects as well. So what I would like to say with those two questions, first would be apologies. The role of youth here. First would be because we need to recognize ourselves as knowledge holder. And one of the example would be definitely you have the example. You have the knowledge. So we need to use this knowledge to circulate with our own tools. Could be using social media or through our own channels. For example, like we create a seminar or maybe through writings. Um, we can connect with stakeholders to advocate these issues as well, because in this it is really important to have the the, the responsible tourism, right? Um, because again, this earth is the only place that we can live in as of now, so we need to take care of this seriously um, and mindfully as well, to have a long lasting life for all, not only for ourselves. Um, and also, sorry, can you please remind me the first question? The second question is role of youth. The first question.
The second question is actually like, how can the youth partnerships can enhance this effort to reduce negative impacts in over tourism, for example?
Awesome, thank you so much. Youth partnerships, definitely. We need to offer our power. I read this book called Millennial Nusantara. So at least have three powers that we can offer as youth. First would be our confidence. Second would be our creativity. And the third would be, if I'm not mistaken, is curiosity. So I think these are the three things that we need to offer to the stakeholders, with our own knowledge, with our own experience, with our own expertise, we can connect um, and and build these partnerships with our fresh ideas, so that the relevant stakeholders can address these issues as well. And I believe also most of the tourists also in the age of youth, I assume. So I think it's also sort of our responsibilities as well to circulate this concept, right? To have a responsible tourism, again, to have long-lasting and preserve um, tourism within our country, not only in Indonesia, but also in ASEAN member states. So yeah, I hope that I answered your question. Yeah? I'm not,
Okay.
but we can further discuss detail with our team in UIO, because we have a lot of tourism enthusiasts as well.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ryan, for the answer.
Thank you so much. Oh, by the way, don't call me Ryan lah. I'm still you. So just call me Rian or Ryan. All right.
Okay,
Thank you.
Ryan.
Oh, by the way, clarifications. The three C's are creative, confidence, and connected. So yeah, those are the concept that offered by one of the writers in Indonesia. All right, do we still have time, Effie, to entertain more questions?
All right. We have Kaisa here.
Okay.
Okay, please.
Okay. Hello, I'm speaker Karian and moderator Kathy. Thank you so much for the amazing knowledge and for the opportunity. I would like to ask what strategies are in place to ensure the long-term sustainability of the partnership. Are there any tips that you can share with us? For instance, like in a situation on how partner prepare to adapt to some challenges in the circumstances itself. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's Kaya. Is it Kai? The one who,
Yes.
oh yeah. Thank you so much, Kai, for the questions. Long-lasting partnership, yeah. Oh, I have a lot of to yes. But I think the few that I have now would be definitely we need to identify really and discover the potential partners that we are targeting to, whether we share the same goal, vision, and values or not. I think that's one of the key points in order for us to be able to maintain these relationships there. Because at the end of the day, it depends on the goals, the objectives, the visions, and the values that we have. Um, because based on my opinion, um, the most so yeah, I think the top reasons some parties not continuing their partnerships would be they don't share the same values or vision or objectives or goals anymore. Um, I think you can start with that. Next would be again maintain communication. As simple as we're asking their doing and also updating with the current situations that we have. So I think it sparks the conversations and create more opportunities as well, because sometimes with the small talk can lead to big opportunities. So I think that's something that I would like to share with you also as well, based on my again experience. Um, with small talk, I think it opens many doors. At least that happened to me. So yeah, I think that's the second things that you can do. The last thing is definitely to have a monitoring and evaluation strategies with effective and efficient way. I think each organizations, they have their own unique strategies when it comes to monitoring and evaluation. So you can try to find yours, whether it's applicable, whether it's effective or not. You can do trial and error with that. And hopefully by that, you can build long-lasting partnership. But other than that, I think I've already shared with you a bit related to my tips and trick. For example, like be prepared, be confidence, um, and other things, because it is important for us to be aware of these points as well. Like this. So yeah, I think that would be all from me. Much for the question.
All right, thank you. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ryan, for the answer. We have the next lineup here. We have Safa from the Peace and Security. Go on, Safa.
All right. Thank you for this opportunity. I am Safa Alika Nunya. You can call me Alika. And I want to ask a simple question. How can we stand out for the people that we want to have partnership with, like some kind of working together? How can we stand out? How can we make them notice us? Do you have some tips for that? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Safa. Peace and security, that's my main priority now. I'm also active on youth security issues, by the way. If you're interested to learn more, we can connect later, yes, Safa, and other colleagues as well. How can we stand out? I think first, we need to fully aware and fully understood our opponent, our potential partner. Again, you can browse their background, their website, social media, and things like that online. I think almost everything now available online, so you can try with that. Because with that, they can connect. So I think it is important to have the connection, because what we're trying to do is to have a relationship, right? So in relationships, I think it is important to have the good connections with new partners that we want to reach out to. Second point would be we need also to fully understood what we're trying to say, what we are trying to convey the message, because sometimes some organization, for example, come to me and they want to pitch something, I didn't really get the connections, and also I didn't really get the sense that they also confident with what they're talking about. I think that's also a bummer for me, because I expect more from them, but I think they didn't really deliver. But again, I understand it could be with so many reasons. Yeah, could be because of nervous, could be also maybe they don't really learn about their own thing. So I think it is a homework for everyone, including myself, to be able also to understand, fully understood the message, the points, the unique selling point that we're trying to convey, what we're trying to offer to our potential partners. And yeah, I think that would be all as of now. That's also we need also to remember we have good intention, yeah. So I think this mindset also need to be always maintained. And we need also to convey that we want to get the benefit as much as they want. So you always try your best to convey that with this partnership, not only us, not only me can get the benefits, but also you. That's also the most important thing that you need to highlight in order for you to stand out among the crowd. So yeah, I think hopefully that could answer your question, Safa. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much for the answer. It was very insightful. Thank you so much. That's right.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Ryan, for the answer. Unfortunately, that was our last question and answer session. But worry not, you can always ask to Mr. Ryan, and we can maybe Mr. Ryan, we can get your contact, or we can connect on LinkedIn. Okay.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I'll share on Zoom chat box.
Okay, that's perfect. We're very sorry because there's so many questions on the chat box as well, but please reach out to Mr. Ryan and you can discuss it later on. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Ryan, for all the very insightful information and for all the answers for the question sessions. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you everyone for the great question and discussion. We'll now wrap up the Q&A session. A big thank you for Mr. Ryan for sharing your valuable insights. After this, we will wrap up the day one, the grand webinar of Bali International Student Festival 2024. I'd like to extend a big thank you to both of our wonderful speakers, Ms. Faisa and Mr. Ryan, for sharing their insight and experiences. And of course, thank you all of you and for your all participation and engagement. I hope you all enjoyed today's session and feel inspired to continue the conversation throughout the rest of the event. Be sure to join us for the upcoming days of Bali International Student Festival 2024. Let's keep working together to make an impact. That's all from me, Evi Erika, your grand webinar moderator today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, everyone, please give a round of applause to our speakers and our lovely moderator. Please give a kind of reaction. All right. And after this, I would like to once again say thank you to our esteemed speaker and participants for a truly enlightening and also insightful grand webinar. And everyone, as we conclude this session, I would like to invite everyone to participate in our documentation process. So please ensure your cameras are on for a group photo to capture this beautiful moment together. All right, may I have everyone turning on their cameras? Yeah, because I still see in the second slide that you guys are still turning off your camera. Please, I want to see your beautiful faces from countries around the globe. Oh my gosh. So exciting to be here today. Okay, and I also would like to remind each and every one of you to fill out the attendance form, as it is one of the requirements if you guys wanted to continue for the rest of the session for this Bali International Student Festival that will still be going on until the 29th of September 2024. So please do kindly recheck and recheck the chat box, because our committee has sent to you the attendance form that you guys have to fill in. Okay, do anyone want to turn on their cameras again? Okay, let me just try to screenshot this. I want to see everyone smile. A big smile. All right. From count on 1, 2, 3. All right. Please try again. 1, 2, 3. Now up to the second slide. 1, 2, 3. The third slide. 1, 2. All right. Thank you, everyone, for your excitement for today's session. Also, before we conclude this session, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our sponsors: Asian Youth Organization, United Nations Association Indonesia, Youth Catalyst Foundation, Indonesia Youth Diplomacy, ISEC Indonesia, and OIC Youth Indonesia. All of your support and commitments to empowering the youth have been invaluable in making this festival a success. So thank you for believing in our mission and for contributing to this important initiative. And for all the participants, a kindly reminder that tomorrow we'll have a panel speaker sessions for each topic discussed today, which will be providing further opportunities for insights and engagement. So we are all looking forward to seeing you all back here for another exciting day at Bali International Student Festival 2024. So thank you once again for joining us today. Have a great evening and see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thank you everyone for the moment.